Today we're going to be doing this video on going from standard form to slope-intercept form. Your learning target for today is going to be able to solve for a variable in an equation and convert a linear equation from standard form to slope-intercept form. So if you're in Integrated Math 1B right now, that means you've taken and passed Integrated Math 1A. And in that class, you have experience working with equations that compare two quantities. Now you're going to apply your equation solving skills to rewrite equations with two or more variables. So that's what you're going to be doing today in this video, is rewriting equations of two or more variables. So the way that these PowerPoints are going is that you can answer the questions first in your own paper and then click on the PowerPoint to check your answers. So let's go ahead and review slope-intercept form. Here's an example. Georgia joined a race. Her race can be modeled with the equation y is equal to 3x plus 4, where x is time in seconds and y is distance in meters. So we gave you what the variables represent. How much of a head start did Georgia get? How can you tell from the equation? Well, here's her equation. We know that the 3 right here is in the slope place and that the 4 is in the y-intercept place. We remember that from Integrated Math 1A. So how much of a start did Georgia get? She got a 4-second head start. We can tell because the starting value is b and y is equal to mx plus b. So this 4 in the equation tells us how much of a head start Georgia got. Next question. What was Georgia's rate of speed? That is, how far did she go? Justify your answer. Well, we know that the m in our equation is slope. So Georgia's rate of speed is 3 meters per second. We know this because the 3 is in the slope place of y is equal to mx plus b. So that's a little review of slope-intercept form, what m represent and what b represent. Let me go ahead and clear that. So you could find the slope and y-intercept of the line y is equal to 3x plus 4 quickly because the equation was already in y equals mx plus b form. But what if the equation is in a different form? Let's explore the situation next. So going from standard to slope-intercept form, the linear equation -6x plus 2y equals 10 is written in standard form. It's important to know the difference between standard and slope-intercept form. Can you easily tell what the slope of the line is? Can you tell what the y-intercept is? Can you predict these values just being from standard form? Well, the answer is you can't tell easily what the slope and the y-intercept form when it's in standard form. The more experience you get, the more you can kind of see in your head what the slope and y-intercept form can be. But when it's in this form, we can't tell. So we need to rewrite the equation into y equals form. So here's my equation. The first thing I'm going to do, since I know that I need my y by itself, I need this guy to be by himself. So the first thing I'm going to do, come on, plus 2y is equal to 10. I'm going to add 6x to both sides. And this reduces to 0. I'm left with 2y is equal to 10 plus 6x. I'm going to put my 6x first since I want it to be in y equals mx plus b form. I still have the y with a coefficient of 2, so I'm going to divide both by 2 because the 2 and the y are being multiplied, so the opposite of multiply is divide. These 2 reduce to 1, and I'm left with y is equal to, in case we need a refresher, the 2 gets divided into both the 6x and the 10. So I have to think, what is 6x divided by 2 and that's 3x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So your final answer, and I wrote it here as well, negative 6x plus 2y is equal to 10. In slope-intercept form is y is equal to 3x plus 5. Now, can we easily tell what the slope and y-intercept form is of this equation? We can. The slope is 3, the y-intercept is 5. The rate of change is 3, her speed. The 5 would be like her starting point, her initial value. So now that you've given or been given a refresher on how to rewrite equations from standard form to slope-intercept form, let's go ahead and do these problems. Let's see. So in addition to rewriting the equation, you want to identify what the slope is of your line, the y-intercept, and you want to try to check your solutions as well, just to make sure you didn't make any mistakes. So it looks like this bottom one is already complete, but let's do the work right here. So I know I've got a -3 that needs to be multiplied or distributed to the x and plus 1. So I've got 5 minus 3x minus 3 is equal to 2y minus 3x plus 2. Then I'm going to continue to reduce my like terms. 5 minus 3, those are like terms. So 5 minus 3 is 2. And then the 3x stays on that side. And then nothing can happen here actually. So I'm just going to leave everything there. And now I'm going to start moving things over. Again, I need to look for the y variable and put it by itself. So since I have my y on my right side, I'm going to move everything to the left. Since I'm subtracting 3x, I'm going to add 3x to both sides. That reduces both to 0. So I'm left with 2 is equal to 2y plus 2. We're actually kind of starting off with the more difficult one. Let's see, now I need to subtract 2 from both sides, and that reduces to 0 is equal to 2y. I still need y by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Anything divided by 0 divided by any number is just 0. So y is equal to 0. And that's why I have my answer here. The slope is 0. The y-intercept is at 0, 0. Y is equal to 0 in slope-intercept form is really y is equal to 0x plus 0. And so 0 is in our slope spot. 0 is also in our y-intercept spot. So that's why the answer is 0, 0, and 0, 0. Let's go up to the first one that will be a little bit simpler. Again, I'm trying to get it into y equals form. So I'm going to leave this guy on the left and I'm going to move this one over to the right. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And I'm left with y is equal to 1x minus 7. Done. Much simpler. What is my slope? It's going to be 1. Because there is an invisible 1 coefficient to x, and my slope is my y-intercept is going to be at 0, -7. A lot of students say the y-intercept is -7. And what I try to remind them is the y-intercept is a point on a graph. And so I really push with my students to give me the y-intercept as a point, not just a number. Next one. I'm looking for my y. Y is already on the left, so I'm going to move everything else over. I'm going to subtract an x because I want it 0 here. So if I add an x, I would end up with 2x here, which is what I definitely don't want. So I'm if I were to add, then it would be 2x. But instead, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And I am left with 2y is equal to 2x plus 2. Oops. And I still have a coefficient in front of my y. I want it to be 1. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And I get y is equal to 2 divides out 2, x, plus 2 divides out 2, 1. And that is my equation in y equals form. My slope is this invisible 1. My y-intercept is 0, 1. And the answers are right there. Oh no, I made a mistake. What did I make a mistake in? Let's see. If I go back, what did I have? Oh no, I made a dumb mistake. I'm so sorry. Where did I go from 4 to 2 right here? Oh goodness. Okay. So mistakes are expected, respected, and corrected. So I actually need to change this to a 4, not a 2. And 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. Come on. So this is actually a 2. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you caught that mistake while I was doing it and wondering why it is wrong. All right. So let me clear it all. Let's go ahead and do this final problem right here. There. So the first step to getting y by itself, well, I need to distribute this 2. You actually don't need to distribute the 2. You can, but what a lot of students don't see is, why not divide both sides by 2 and get rid of this? And I now have y minus 3 is equal to 2 divides out 2 into 1. 6 divides out 2 into 3. And now I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I'm left with y is equal to x plus 6. If this is correct, my slope is 1. My y-intercept is 0, 6. Let's see how I did. Y is, oh, I made another mistake. That's a -3. Oh no. Okay. Well, -3. And what am I doing? Adding 3. Yes, that gives me 0. So y is equal to 1x. At least my slope was right. Slope is 1 and the y-intercept is at 0, 0. Everyone makes mistakes, even the teacher. Okay, so that is the end for rewriting equations from standard form to slope-intercept form. I hoped that helped.